Chris.
Alicia. And these are the 5 most important things from our book, Great Jobs for Accounting Majors. Don't worry, even if you're not an accounting major, most of this will still be pretty relevant. So the first step when you're looking for a job is to write a resume. And a resume has 4 key parts, the first of which is the heading. The heading includes your name, your address, and all of your contact information. Second is the objective, which is basically what you're trying to achieve by writing and sending out your resume. Third is education, so for all of you, it'll be what kind of degree you're seeking and where. And then finally is going to be experience. For this, you can do jobs that you've had, shadowing you've done, or internships that you've had. But the most important thing to remember here is that you don't just want to focus on those tasks that you did or even the titles that you had, but rather those skills that you gained and maintained that will be useful in the job that you want. Also, as students, you might want to think about adding some other sections such as relevant projects, relevant courses, affiliations and organizations, and even doing honors. But what you want to remember here also is that you want to make it relevant to the employer. So that's the most important part of writing your resume, is relevancy. You want to highlight those qualities and skills that you think the employer wants. By going back to the job posting and even using the exact rhetoric in your resume, you can show to the employer that you are the best candidate for their job.
Alright, so let me ask you guys very dumb questions, but how many of you guys want to have a job after you guys graduate? Please raise your hand. Exactly, everybody wants to have a job after you graduate. So one of the most important things I found after I read this book is the job finding process. So to begin the job finding process, firstly, you have to have a job titles. That is the thing that fits you, that you really desire for, and when you have a job titles, that means that you really know who you are and what you're presenting to the job employment industry. So after you have a job titles, the next thing you want to look for is the job search. So there are various resources that you can look for job search. For example, the computerized interest inventories. There are 2 most popular ones named the Discover and the Choice, where you can input your educational information, your background, and your value, and then the system will give you the job titles that fits you the most. There may be another that you're very familiar with, you guys. For example, the ETD Career Work System is one of those computerized interest inventories. There are also other resources such as the books or the classified ads or newspaper weekly. It is not the best place to look for jobs, but it gives you insight about which industry is actively looking for employees, And also the National Job Banks and job posting publications is also resources you can look for jobs opening. And keep in mind that even though you find a job that's very satisfied for you, you still need to consider the financial aspect, because you don't want to work your heart out and then go home and starve later. So the recommendation is to have a job with a salary of 1.35% of your expense. And the next important thing I want to talk about is the networking process. Many of you guys may think that networking is not important because the job opportunities is always out there in the classified ads, in the computerized inventories, and the list listed above. But actually, only 15 to 20% of the jobs available are posted formally. Most of them are actually under hidden job market, which you can only discover if you have a very good network. And to begin the networking process, you guys may think that it's so difficult. It takes like a lot of communication skill, but actually it's really easy. So I'll let Chris introduce to you guys a very perfect example of networking skills.
Hi, I'm Chris McClure. I'm a student at UTD who's interested in a career in marketing after I graduate. I had some questions about the world of marketing professionals. I was wondering if you had a card or some place I could contact you to ask you some of those questions sometime.
That sounds great. My name is Keely. Nice to meet you. Here's my card, so if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me.
Thank you. And there's one.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I hope to see you soon. It's that easy. Just decide who you want to talk to, make priority to like college alumni and networking like that, and then you have honestly express your intentions and set a tone for communication. For example, this one is talking to an employer, so he wants to be formally set a formally tone of communications. And also, after you've talked to a person, don't forget to send a thank you note. It's very important. It shows your gratitude and enthusiasm in establishing business relations. And last thing I want to talk about networking is that you have to keep track of your effort, have the names, address, or email, so you know who you talk to, and you don't forget them if you meet them later. And don't forget that you're only 2 phone calls away from the information you need.
Another important comment the book had was about viewing the interview as a conversation between 2 equal and interested partners. Now, no one wants to hire a list of bulleted accomplishments and accolades. They want to hire a human being. Now, hopefully the interviewer's seen your resume. Maybe they've glanced over, hadn't really been in depth. Maybe the person actually interviewing you hasn't seen it, in which case hopefully you brought a few extras. But unless asked, you don't want to offer those until the end of the interview, because you don't want them absorbed in it. You don't want the interview to be about the resume. The resume doesn't showcase your real talents, the good stuff. You may not be the best storyteller in the world, but I promise you're a better storyteller than your resume is. You may get asked for an example of customer service, and you could answer, well, in high school I had a retail job and had to work with a lot of people. And that's nice, but they can already see that on your resume. Why would you want to answer with that when you could answer with the story of the time an irate customer came in threatening to sue the company, and you talked her down and calmed her down, and she left satisfied? Because it's a conversation, you don't want to... That's embarrassing. It's just a conversation. Whatever job you're applying for, you're going to have to communicate and work with other people. And if you can't communicate well with your interviewer, as I'm not communicating with you very well right now, then you've already shown that you're not qualified for the job, no matter what your resume might say. So your resume got you there, sure. Your resume is what got you the interview. But when you walk in, it's time to leave it behind you. You may not control the questions being asked, but you do control the answers. So do your best to use that to demonstrate something more that can be seen on a simple piece of paper.
How many of you guys in here are accounting or finance majors? Raise your hand. Oh, wow, that's a lot of you guys. Well, this section's really going to work for you. Most jobs in the accounting field are going to be up in the upper 40,000s. Starting out, it's going to be about 40,000 for a bachelor's and about 42,000 for a master's. The top 10% make about $80,000 or more, and the bottom 10% make under $30,000. Accounting jobs is one of the top 5 jobs in the nation. They are fast-paced and stressful, but if you survive in that kind of environment, it can be very rewarding. A lot of people really enjoy that kind of environment, being able to help their customers. There were a lot of tutorials or testimonies in the book that said that they were very busy around tax time. They were putting in 60 hours a week, but they really enjoyed it because they were helping their clients and being able to tell them everything they needed to help them. If you're looking for a job in the government, it's going to be a really good idea. The pay will be less, but the benefits and the job security are really going to help balance that out. So you're not feeling like you're getting paid less because your insurance will be good. There's also very important to have experience when you're looking for a job. Any type of job shadowing or internships are very good, and they'll help you really understand what you're getting yourself into, and that'll really increase your chances. It's very important to have a degree nowadays. A simple bachelor's is going to be the minimum, and it's really good to have a master's. So if you're looking for that, it'll be even better. Does anybody have any questions? No? Well, thank you guys for your time.